Okay, good morning. Today you're working on lesson 14-2. You're learning about data from surveys. So this lesson, you're going to be creating some line plots from it again. So I'm going to give you an example of the guided practice. So this is number one located on page 320. So on my whiteboard here, I wrote down all the data from the surveys. And question number one asks you, what are the highest and lowest? So there's some better words for highest and lowest. It's the maximum amount and the minimum amount. So in order to do this, you look through the data and you're going to find the highest number or the maximum number and the lowest number. So I'm going to look for the highest for 16, 18 and a half so far, 19 and a half, 20 is the highest now, 20 is the highest still. So 20 is going to be my maximum. Now I'm going to look for the lowest one, which is the smallest number. So far it's 16, still 16, still 16, still 16, still 16, still 15, 17, 16 and a half. So my lowest is 15. So on your paper, jot down that the highest or the maximum is 20 and the lowest and minimum is 15. Okay, so number two reads, make a line plot to display the data. So my minimum number was 15, which I put here. Then I did even spaces with whole numbers all the way through 20. Now on here, you're going to notice there's halves. So I made really big lines on my number line. So I'm going to do a half for each one because some of these are going to have a half, okay? So I'm going to pause here for a minute so you can create a number line just like this. This is number two on guided practice on page 330. Okay, now that you've created your line plot, I'm going to show you how you put this on a data. So you write out all your numbers. You'll be looking on your online book and you have your number line. So what you do is you go, okay, 16, put an X. 18 and a half is going to be right here, put an X. I like to make them pretty even across there. 17 is an X. 19 and a half is an X. And you'll notice how I'm working from left to right, nice and organized. 18, 20, which was our maximum. Another 18, I put it above. 17 and a half. Another 20. Now a 19. Now a 17. Now an 18. Now a 19. And a 15. And a 17. And then 16 and a half. So with this one, there's no outlier. There could be a debate about 15, but 15 is still pretty close to 16. So that's how you create your line plot for this. You find your minimum, you make that the smallest number on your number line, and you make your maximum your largest. Because if you wrote 0 to 15, that would be not a very good use of space. So you just make the number line from 15 to 20. So this is how number two in guided practice should look. Okay, so pretty easy lesson. I jumped ahead now to number 7 on page 330, which is an independent practice. You're going to be asked to make something called a frequency table, okay? You're going to look at a line plot and create a frequency table. So you make a label for your chart, number of miles run or miles run. Then you list all the numbers in order, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, and 5.5. So for these frequency tables, all you have to do is add up the x's, 1, 2. Then you add 2.5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you do 3.5, which is 1, 2, 3. 4.5, which is 1, 2. And 5.5, which is 1. Now, sometimes on these frequency tables, they'll have you do tallies. So instead of 2, you could write 1, 2. Instead of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of 3, 1, 2, 3. Instead of 2, 1, 2. Instead of 1, 1. Those right there are tallies. Sometimes you'll be asked to make those. All right, good luck with lesson 14-2. It's a quicker and easy one. 14.3, which we'll get to next week, is a little bit more difficult of a one, and I'll make some changes for it for you. Okay, enjoy working on this lesson today. Data from surveys.